Welcome back to the weakest link. Let's find out who's going out in this second to last round.
Player 2. We have a tie team. So,
All right.
I will choose the player who will have the final say. Player 5. Who do you want to get rid of?
And I Love DSI1 is going to vote for Minigun Mayhem. So that means Minigun Mayhem, you are
Voting
the weakest
over.
link.
It's time to discover who's been chosen as the weakest link. Player 2. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
And now we're down to I Love DSI1 and Caleb Duke 570.
Only 2 of you left in this round, and you've got 90 seconds and 1 question less. Remember, the amount you bank will be trebled and added to what's already been accumulated during the whole of the game.
All right, the person starting this last round before the show-off is the showdown.
Player 5.
It's I Love DSI1.
You've been chosen to start this last round. Let's play Weakest Link. Start the clock.
All right,
Player 5.
I Love DSI1. In English law, the standard of proof required in a criminal trial such as to establish guilt beyond reasonable what? He says force.
Don't be stupid.
No, it's B. Caleb Dude 570.
Player 7.
In which of the 4 seasons of the year would one expect to experience the warmest temperatures? He says summer.
Correct.
And he's right. I Love DSI1 Banks. What is the name of the English writer who wrote As I Walked Out One Midsummer Morning based on his experience of the Spanish Civil War? He says Sammy Lee.
Brainless.
No, it's B. Caleb Dude 570.
Player 7.
In football, the Italian club AC Milan won the 2007 UEFA Champions League by beating which English Cup 2-1 in the final? He says Liverpool.
Correct.
And he's right. I Love DSI1 Banks. In engineering, what J is the name given to the projecting arm of a tower crane that supports the object being lifted? He says jib.
Okay.
And he's right. Caleb Duke 570 Banks. A popular fun fair ride in which passengers travel slowly through a dark tunnel and encounter scary things is known by what name? He says Ghost Train.
Correct.
And he's right. I Love DSI1 Banks. In the abbreviations USA and UN, the letter U stands for which word? He says United.
Yes.
And he's right. Caleb Duke 570 Banks. On the media, on which day of the week is the range of titles of national newspapers quite different from on the other 6 days? He says Sunday.
Correct.
And he's right. I Love DSI1 Banks. In tennis, how many players in total compete in the quarterfinal round of the men's singles tournament? He says 8.
Good answer.
And he's right. Caleb Duke 570 Banks. In fashion, what is the Malaysian name for a long piece of cloth wrapped around the waist and off to warm the beach? He says lungi.
Brainless.
No, it's B. Time's up.
Time's up. Let's see what you banked.
They banked $2,100, which is times 3
You
of that.
must speed up in the next round if you're still here.
And these people are going to be playing for $6,100.
Final
so
round.
will it go
and
to
there
a I
can
Love
only be
DSI1
one
or
winner.
Caleb Duke 570?
You'll play against each other head to head. I'm going to ask you 5 questions each. The player with the most correct answers will win. If there's a tie, we'll go for sudden death until we have a winner. Let's play Weakest Link.
Here we go. And the person starting this showdown is I Love DSI1.
Player 5, it's your turn to start. Here's the first question. Dan Donovan from Big Audio Dynamite, Jim Kerr from Simple Minds, and Liam Gallagher from Oasis have all been married to which actress?
He says C.
Hopelessly wrong.
Alright, you got the first question wrong.
Player 7, here's your question. In science, which non-metallic chemical element is an essential ingredient of steel?
He says silicon.
That's not even near the correct answer.
Alright, each of them got the first question wrong.
Player 5, your turn to play. In the traditional Swiss recipe for a fondue, which liqueur is added to the melted
He
cheese?
says A.
That's easy.
Alright, you got the second question right.
Player 7, here's your question. In art, the landscape painters Thomas Gainsborough and John Constable were both born in the 18th century in which English county?
He says B.
Whatever.
Nope.
Player 5, your turn to play.
All right, I love DSI 1.
In 2007, Roger Federer broke whose record, set in 1977, for the number of consecutive weeks that a male tennis player was ranked as number 1?
He says B.
How did you make it to the final?
All right, he got the third question wrong.
Player 7, here's your question. In pop music, which song by Bruce Springsteen was originally entitled Vietnam?
He says A.
Did you answer this by yourself?
He got it right, so now it's 1-1 on the questions.
Player 5, your turn to play. The area where Arthur Ransom set his 1930 children's novel Swallows and Amazons is now in which English national park?
He says B.
Everybody knows this, but you don't.
All right. Caleb do 570.
Player 7, here's your question.
In sport.
In sport, the cricketer Brian Lara and the footballer Dwight York were both born in which Caribbean country?
He says A.
Not at all.
All right.
Player 5, your turn to play.
Last question, TJ.
In 19th century English literature, the 3 lake poets were Samuel Taylor Coleridge, Robert Southey, and who else?
He says B.
You really are too bad.
All right. If Caleb do 570 gets this right,
Player
he wins
7,
the game.
here's your question. In 18th century history, the Porteous riots occurred in which Scottish city?
For the win, he says B.
That's it.
And he's right! So, Caleb do 570 wins today's game of the weakest link.
Player 7, you are the strongest link. Look at the virtual amount you managed to win.
All right. Caleb do 570, 6,100 pounds is yours.
Player 5, you leave with nothing. You've just played the weakest link. Goodbye.
Alright. And that's going to do it for this episode of The Weakest Link. We'll be back next month for another exciting edition. Congratulations, Caleb do 570 for winning 6,100 pounds. I'm the Zachman18, helper to the pet population, Harry Pet Spay Nerd. Good night.